Namaste, angels. This is going to be the weekly reading for the period of October 23rd through the 29th. I'm doing it super early. Today is only like the 15th, but I expect to not be available to do it next week, so I'm doing it now. Anyway, we're starting with kitchen, email. I'm on top, sex, and party. Romantic dinner. It's 50-50. Spend money. So this is like doing things guilt-free. Your choice. So not my choice or your choice, the viewer, the other person's choice. Something's in somebody else's hands. And kitchen. So, speaking of your choice, the reading that I did yesterday for this week, the Page of Wands was there also. And the Three of Wands also came up. And I said the Three of Wands represented somebody having put, in this case, in a relationship, all they could. You've done all you could from your end on trying to manifest this relationship, but doing your 50%, your 100%, however you want to consider it, and it was up to the other person to show up with their wand. There was a Page of Wands also. So since it's your choice, as in theirs, the other person's, this could be a continuation of that potentially. At least for some of us, where we're waiting on someone else, especially with the Knight of Wands also showing up here in reverse at the bottom, can be about like a message that is delayed, or you're receiving word, or a sign from the universe or whatever that something is delayed, the action is delayed. And since the Three of Swords is also here in reverse, it can be connected to some sort of heartache or pain or loss or separation that occurred previously that you're getting over, but it's still going to take some time before we can reach the point of this action. There was some sort of ending, not the end of the world, but an ending. There's still, again, the potential for happiness, joy, success, abundance, and even a soulmate or twin flame relationship to move forward, but not just yet. Something has caused it to pause. In my own life, looking at these cards is kind of weird, actually. I mentioned, I realize that not everybody watches every video, and some people knew sometimes, but for years, I had been talking about Prince Charming, this guy I dated, and he was definitely the depiction of the Knight of Wands for me. I literally called him Prince Charming as a nickname, or PC for short, so I didn't have to say all that. He was murdered a little over a week ago, about going on 2 weeks ago. And we actually do have death here. Now, the reason I say, for me, when I'm getting this, and I'm just sharing it with you because it's happening right now, like in real time, is because my ex, my not this one, but like my high school sweetheart, as they call them, man I was with for several years and I'm still connected to. It's something like 37 years at this point. He is who they coincidentally lived across the street from one another. So I dated one as a kid, or as a young adult, a young person, and one as a grown woman, right? This one as a grown woman. So he happened to live across the street from my ex. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't meet him in their area. And my ex got the news first because because he's from that neighborhood, it must have gone around to everybody from that neighborhood that grew up together or whatever. And he's the one, he tried to reach me by phone. I missed the call. So he ended up texting me the article to tell me that my other ex, which was more short term, albeit, but again, as an adult, had been murdered. So I could see this causing a delay in the healing of my relationship with my high school sweetheart, even though it's like, well, somebody died, so it's like more important than you or him, and I agree, but I could see that causing a delay energetically, because it's just heavy, for a man who's loved me and who I've loved years and years and years, to have to experience with me this sort of mourning of another man. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I never thought about it until now. Until now, when I'm looking at these cards and talking to you guys, is my first time thinking about it. But I did have a conversation with my best friend, also from high school, about something going on in her life. And we were talking about being jealous of dead people. And I'm like, how could anybody be jealous of somebody who's dead? But I guess that kind of scenario, maybe jealous isn't the right word, because typically one would not want to trade places with the deceased person, but just how do I put this? I only share these things because somebody else could be going through something similar, although I hope not to this extent, but along the lines of, I guess, the jealousy or envy. Again, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but for example, like I said, my ex was murdered, and his death was being used by the media in a way that, like by people who wouldn't have stuck up for him in life when he was alive as a black man, and for an agenda that wouldn't have supported him in life as a black man. And so I was like tweeting and posting on my Facebook about the injustice surrounding his death, or injustices that were coming out as a result of his death. And so I don't know if my ex saw any of that, but I'm just saying, like, if he did, because I'm only using this as an example from what I just saw on the cards. That was a message for me personally. If he saw any of that, it's this sense of like, wow, you must have really cared about him. Like, but how? If you care about me, or if you love me, or ever did love me, how could you also have that much concern for this other person, even though the other person is deceased? And you might say, like, it's kind of crazy. We've all been, I think, in a similar situation one time or another, where you witness somebody that you care about caring for someone else and saying, like, why don't I get that? Why haven't I gotten that? You know what I mean? So that's probably the takeaway for other people, and why I'm being guided to go ahead and share it. Maybe I'm being guided to just go ahead and share it just for my own benefit, because here we have the Queen of Swords sitting here in the next deck too. So maybe that is an indication of who is going through this sort of thing, in this case me. Perhaps other Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. So long story short, I was saying that because of that, there could be a delay in action while, for example, again, this is only an example. This is not real life. While, for example, if my ex theoretically, was waiting, like, he has to get beyond that. He has to move past those feelings of being bothered, hurt, jealous, whatever it is, whatever the appropriate word is for the feelings, move past those feelings before he can take action. So that Knight of Wands will have caused a delay in my life, or in the action in my life. All right, again, apply it how it applies to you. if it applies to you. Now, after cutting, we're here with the Lovers in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Three of Cups in reverse. So again, it does look like whatever the scenario, for some, this is about a relationship of some sort, whether it is romantic or, other close one-on-one relationships in your life, something involving a heart versus head decision. This is two major arcana cards and one minor. So this is really heavy in energy that is going to take place, and only thing that we can control with regard to it taking place is our reaction to it. We can't stop it from happening. Right, so the Lovers in reverse tends to mean that you are going to experience or feel, some sort of love that maybe not as intense on, or level of commitment or something, not as intense as if it was upright and possibly delayed, but you will experience it. Wheel of Fortune is also, too, about a reversal of fortune, whether it's upright or in reverse, things changing, moving toward, for which one is destined. Maybe involving somebody, by one of these names, or his initials are it's the letters that make up the word tarot. And there's also some Hebrew symbols here. There is the start of the new Hebrew month during this week, this period. So maybe it's tied to that or something. And of course, the fixed signs: Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus. Also maybe particularly impacted here. And then we have a Three of Cups in reverse. Three of Cups is another one of these cards where it's still positive. It could very well have something to do with some sort of party of three, even though it's more celebratory and happy. And even in reverse tends to be about experiencing at least one positive reunion in your life with someone or something, being reunited. So if something was lost, or an opportunity was missed, or again if a person you haven't seen for a while that is important to you, or is some part of your destiny or life purpose or fate, you will be reconnected with that person, and it is some sort of wish fulfillment that's coming after a period of a break or separation or meditation, introspection, thinking about it, and having made a decision, maybe even dreaming about it again and wishing. So I'm gonna put this deck just to the side for a second. So now again with this one, we're starting with the Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There is another Three of Cups in reverse, so duplicate energy here, and it is atop a Two of Cups in reverse. Two of Cups in reverse can be about it can still be a positive card as well, even though it's in reverse. It doesn't have to mean that the relationship is over, but something may have occurred, and we do need to work on each other, work on focusing on the relationship. However, at the same time, it can be about focusing on your love life and or a particular relationship to the extent that you are ignoring other aspects of your life. So it's kind of like it can be kind of like an obsessive energy. So maybe I'm so focused on being single or being coupled or whatever, and on my particular relationship or on a person, that I'm ignoring my friends, and I'm not going out, and I've become antisocial, or I'm not paying my bills on time, whatever it is. You're ignoring other aspects of your life, potentially to, your detriment. And we also have this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So with these, again, I would say that for most people, it can be about some sort of delayed gratification, delayed reunion, but upright, no matter what order we put these cards in. I mean, how wonderful is this? So once we can get beyond that, and it might require one or more people making some sort of decision over which they're agonizing right now. Maybe with the new moon, we got a crescent moon there. Again, there's a new moon in Scorpio that falls within this period on the 25th of October. So maybe with that will allow them to make some sort of decision that will bring them around here. So this was on top, right? It was this, then this, then this. I just want to put them back in order. Queen of Swords was on top. Okay. Yikes. Now we have the Seven of Cups somehow in reverse. Wasn't this one of the cards I just looked at and it was upright? I don't know. It's in reverse now. Atop the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And then we got a King of Swords here and a King of Wands in reverse. Put those there for me. Now, Page of Wands. New opportunity, career, travel, relationship, offer in one of those areas, perhaps. Also, speaking of job, I don't think I talked about it because I was guided to go into that whole other thing. But what I meant to say also about the Knight of Wands in reverse is that there could be some sort of interruption in somebody's career, or there could have been some sort of interruption in somebody's career, maybe, or job. And it could be something as small as, you know, your boss calls you away from work you enjoy doing to attend a meeting you don't want to be bothered with, or, you know, tells you can't work from home this week, you got to come into the office. So it can be something like as small as that, or as big as, you know, a layoff, firing, you know, your job went out of business, whatever it is, some sort of interruption in the job. And with the Three of Swords in reverse that have been behind it, maybe that's something that, you know, happened already, and now you're trying to move beyond it. You're, you know, getting to the point where you're moving beyond it. And then here comes this new opportunity now, right? With the Page of Wands upright for you to find a new job. You're going to have to, if you're applying for jobs, like, make sure that it's in your resume and you're having these interviews, you're telling people exactly what you're defending your name and your reputation here. And your decisions maybe to make a shift in your career path. You know, maybe you had always been this, but again, there was an interruption in that path, and now you're getting an opportunity to go this way. And people are like, but you do this, you go that way. It's okay for you to decide to go this way this time. And you're going to defend that decision if that's the case. And then we have another Three of Cups in reverse. 3 different decks. 3 of Cups showing up in all 3 in reverse each time. 10 of Cups also in reverse here. And the Magician. That 10 of Cups, again, could be for people who for whom it's the page, the offer, the opportunity is connected to some sort of relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic, but some sort of relationship, some sort of like 7th house type relationship, like your one-on-one relationships, family, you know, close family, immediate family, you know, job, co-workers, mate, love interest, siblings, parents, whatever it is, you know, something like the BFF, those type of relationships. Let's turn these over. I'm doing things a little bit different this week. We will spread these out. I'll probably do the same thing with the oracle messages, the love oracle messages, too. I just decided literally in this moment, to change what I was about to do, or I was just guided to change what I was about to do. So this pile here is going to be like a them pile. And this is going to be like a you pile. And this is going to be like a potential outcome pile. And them, again, does not have to be romantic. Them can be it's your choice. Remember what the die said? So them can be whoever the other person is, or situation is, whether it's the job, you know, the person that's doing the hiring for your position, whatever. So what do we most need to focus on this week? What's the greatest thing? And how they will be a factor. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Us. Ten of Swords in reverse. So far, it's looking like what the other cards look like when I started, right? We're getting beyond some sort of betrayal, separation, heartache, loss in our life, and now things are making a turn. What's the potential outcome here? Two of Wands. So being back on the path toward moving forward, as long as we have faith that what it is we're working on and whatever decisions we make and whatever guidance, because this can definitely be about guidance you're getting from the universe. Again, this is often about something that is divine, that is destined, that is fate, that is, like beyond our control, that's meant to happen to you, involving your life purpose. Two of Wands is the twin flame card of the tarot, but it's also a card about partnerships in general, just being a two, and it is about having faith in whatever the outcome it is, your desired outcome is, so that you are able to manifest it. And the fact that it's upright means you have a very good chance of doing that, especially, again, there is going to be a reversal of fortune. So if you have been experiencing betrayal and loss and hurt, that is what is changing here. Let's look specifically at work and finance. We have the Sun in reverse. So there could have been some sort of break. Again, the Sun is pretty much the same with the upright or in reverse. And one of the meanings of the Sun is about a pause, a break. So there could have been some sort of interruption in your work. Not the worst thing in the world, even if you may have felt like it was at some moment, especially if you were fired or lost your job somehow. You might be like, oh my goodness, I get to the end of the world. It was not. It has not been the worst thing. And again, something new is coming, is what it seems. That's from them. So there's an offer likely headed toward you. And for us, we have, oops, I pulled two by mistake. So there's an Eight of Cups in reverse that does have another one of these moons, both a new moon and a full moon, where we walked away from something about which we were emotional, and we've been like in a holding pattern ever since. So maybe you're unsure what to do, what move to make, although the Sun is, shining on you here with an opportunity. So what's the potential outcome? Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is about abundance that we don't have to work for. So again, this is connected to work and finance and the placement that I, just decided to pull it from. So in that case, we could be getting opportunities, resources, actual money, support, credit, being gifted something, offered a job, whatever. So this is like the universe is coming through right on time to help you with your finances, to improve that situation, and not because you have to physically work to do it, just because the universe has decided to bless you. Love. The Knight of Cups. This is them. So very possibly an actual masculine, very possibly, at least the way I read the Knight of Cups, somebody returning, maybe an ex or something. Could also be somebody new, but the Knight of Cups is often an ex for me. Perhaps an actual water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, who is very romantic, and will come in sort of like, the guy that serenades you from from the ground, looking up at your window. You. Justice in reverse. You may be getting over some other kind of relationship, and maybe in a legal way, maybe like divorce or something, or severing of a very long time relationship. And maybe, again, that's why you were emotional and you've been sort of in a hanging pattern ever since. Holding pattern. Could be time for, we'll see what the potential outcome is. It could be time for you to you know, go ahead and come out of that and give somebody else a chance. Could be the same person. Again, since it's potentially an ex that's returning, so maybe you had some sort of experience from them. There was an interruption in the relationship, a break. Maybe they were the ones who walked away, and so that's why they left you sort of hanging in the balance, and you don't know what to think or feel. You were, you know, forced to walk away. You didn't choose to walk away, and so now you're here upside down like this. Justice in reverse can also be about feeling like we haven't been met with the same, like what we give, we haven't gotten, hasn't been reciprocal, not or equal or balanced. Sometimes, however, though, when it's reverse, there is an indication that we feel like we've been giving and giving and giving, but we can afford to give some more, and we should be trying to do that. Justice represents the sign of Libra most directly in the tarot, so could, you know, particularly be involving a Libra. I didn't go over the sun. The sun represents the sign of Sagittarius, the planet Jupiter most directly. For me, it also represents the sign of Leo, because in real life, Earth's star, the sun, represents, or rules rather, the sign of Leo. And I did go over earlier the Wheel of Fortune. It too represents the sign of Sagittarius, and the planet Jupiter, but also the fixed signs, as I mentioned, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and again, Leo. We did the most focus. We did like a surrounding energy of our 7th house relationships. We did work, right? And we did love. Oh, I got to do this part for love. Potential outcome for love. Let's go on this side. I'm feeling this side now. Potential outcome. Okay, so you had been feeling like maybe you were left out in the cold again. Maybe this person didn't do you right, or somebody didn't do you right. There's been unequal justice and a lack of reciprocity. Maybe some, unrequited love in your life, or you feel like somebody ghosted you, or maybe they did ghost you. Maybe that's who's returning, somebody who had previously ghosted you. But the 5 of Pentacles in reverse says that whether this is about a lack of money, so tied to your work and that situation, or it is tied to your actual romantic life. Again, we got to work on the placement of love right now. And that, you're moving beyond, you're coming out of that place of lack. Again, the tables have turned. So you're coming out of the place of lack and feeling much more abundant and ready to, get back out there, moving beyond that place where you felt sort of abandoned and lost and alone and all that. Now, just ask, I guess, Spirit, what's one last thing we need to know about this week, October 23rd through the 29th. What's one last thing that we need to know about them? Page of Cups. So, again, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Making an offer, possibly someone younger than you, maybe your child. Again, this doesn't have to be romantic or, sibling, or again, a friend, platonic relationship, somebody who owes you an apology or wants to make amends or something, or just gifting you. Maybe you're celebrating something. We did see all those 3s of Cups. Maybe it's an anniversary, a birthday, some other celebration. We are October 23rd, the first day for which this reading does begin Scorpio season. So maybe you are in fact a Scorpio and it's your birthday, and it's my daughter's birthday, and you're getting gifts or something. In terms of people returning to your life, in that case, we have again the Knight of Cups facing the Page of Cups. Maybe this is a reunion between a parent and a child. that had been on some sort of break. Something had been severed. There had been feelings of betrayal or whatever, or loss between them, unequal treatment. You know, I give, and I don't get anything back from you. So I don't know what to do with this situation anymore. And we'll just pray on it. Right? There's some people dealing with that, is what I'm getting. Okay. So that's them. Page of Cups offer. Where are we? I was going to pull that one. I don't know. I just was guided to move to this one. What's this? 10 of Wands upright. So we are really feeling like we've been overwhelmed, overworked, had a lot on our plates, burdened. Maybe we get a chance to put these wands down. Let's see. Potential outcome. There's a King of Pentacles in reverse. So even in reverse, this is a very generous energy. This can be a very stubborn person. So it can be difficult to say what is the outcome based on his behavior, because he's somebody who can sort of go either way. Let me pull another one here for us. Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. So destined to at least lay those burdens down, and for there to be a change in the energy that surrounds us, a fortunate change, a positive change, for good things to come. Almost always. I mean, Jupiter is the planet of luck and growth and expansion, and you know, so it's about newness and really branching out and exploring and ascending and getting really lucky and fortunate and winning, and maybe even like things like the lottery and all of that. And we've got 2 here on the table. Going to the traditional meanings of the King of Pentacles in reverse. For one thing, like as related to love, since we did a lot of talking about that, and we got these the Knight and the Page of Cups. Somebody that you care about, that you love, or love interest, somebody with your eye on, maybe an actual earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and maybe specifically male or the masculine. They are like having a hard time right now with their work and or finances, or at least feel that they are. I mean, because these are like the hardest workers in the zodiac, right? You know, and a lot of times sort of measure themselves and their level of success by earthly things and what they have or don't have. So they could at least feel that they're having a hard time. So that, you know, again, and they're having a hard time in their life. They don't have enough stuff to make them happy, or enough money. And so that's what they're sort of focused on, and maybe not so much on you and relationship. That doesn't mean they're not going to make you an offer. That doesn't mean you can't heal a relationship where there had been pain, betrayal, loss, separation. And they may share this. They may or may not share the information with you. But it's like if you don't get together, it likely has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the fact that they're dealing with something. So this might not be the moment where things come together as you wish they would, just because this person has so much on their plate, or at least they feel like they do. Maybe you will be the person to convince them that there's more to life than, you know, stuff, and that you don't care much about that, and you're prepared to be with them anyway. And, you know, this is your time to give, right? But even though you felt like you've given, this, again, in the reverse, can be like, well, no, you can afford to give a little more too. So maybe that's the message for some of us as well. Similarly, as it relates specifically to work, again, you could have a lot on your plate at your job. There could be a lot going on. But it's important to remember what this card shows up to say is that it's important to remember that you can only do what you can do, like do your best work, and that's all you can do about it. And you need to remember, like, your work or money or stuff is not your life. You know, like, there's more meaning and value to life than these things. And you know, for example, if God forbid you were no longer here, that work, that job is going to go on. It's not going to be like, oh man, we got to shut down because that person's not here anymore. You know, the job is going to keep going. So we need to remind ourselves of this when it comes to our own lives, our health, our happiness, and make sure that we're incorporating balance in all areas. Do the best you can at work. Don't slack off. You know, again, protect your name, protect your reputation, and your record. But you got to nurture other aspects of your life as well, and not put so much value on things and stuff. You know, because life is short, and happiness is more important. Now let's get some oracle messages. Like I said, I was just interested to look at what ended up at the bottom. It's the Ten of Pentacles. So this was in the potential outcome pile. That's positive too, I think. Let's put these away. King of Wands in reverse here. King of Wands in reverse, somebody who has often like been through a lot in their life, so they kind of understand what's up with you and are willing to help because of that. You know, they're empathetic. So you could have an actual person that's willing to offer you some help, or this could be you, and maybe you could be showing somebody else some understanding, some empathy, because sort of you've been there too. And so when you think about it in a fair and logical way, you get where they're coming from, so to speak. And here we have the High Priestess in reverse. Somebody's, look, another Ten of Pentacles. Somebody's intuition may not be coming through as strong as they would wish, they would hope. We could be dealing with some sort of body dysmorphia, where, or spiritual even, or, you know, dysmorphia, like where, or like where you don't see yourself as highly as the rest of the world does. Whether that's in a physical way, like, oh, I'm too skinny, I'm too fat, I'm too short, I'm too tall, whatever it is. I'm too light, I'm too dark. I'm getting from the black and white columns. So it'll be something like that, like physical, or it can be, again, like you just have this aura about you to other people. You know, they find you really fascinating and smart, intuitive, psychic, and, you know, insightful. They just think you're a really wonderful person, and you're not seeing or feeling that about yourself, at least in this moment. You know, it's temporary, it's fleeting, but that's possible for somebody. And it may have to do, again, with money, with status. You just don't feel where you're supposed to be. You know, just sort of feeling like, what else can I do to reach that area? All right. I said I would get the other cards. Let's get them. Look what just fell away here. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. You know, no need to be stressed out. Have here, starting out, you are in my heart now and forever, and I will always be faithful to you. It's not personal, but I need some time to think and to figure things out. You fill my life with hope for the future, and I'm proud to have you by my side. This one's sideways. I want to pick those. Let's have a heart-to-heart conversation. I want to open up and tell you how I feel. Oh, I said I would do it the same way I've done the others. Let me do that too. All right, so this is specific to secret messages of love. Them. Where's them? I'm sorry for all the things I've said and done that caused you hurt and pain. This seems to go right along with our reading. Where are you? I may not always show it, but I care about you a lot, and I don't want to lose this connection. Well, I certainly feel this. I certainly feel this because as an air sign, I know I don't always show it about anybody, like even my own kids or parents or whatever. It's not on purpose, and it's not personal. And potential outcome. Very nice. You are my only love interest, and I'm here to stay. So that's what I have for you for the cards for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it if you would like to stick around. I'm going to go over some of the transits that are occurring this week. So actually, this is a very, very busy week on all of the calendars. Like I said, the 23rd, the Sun into Scorpio, I think Venus into Scorpio. There's like 2 other celestial transits, I think. I think Juno goes direct. And another planet or body that's in retrograde goes direct, I believe, on the 23rd. I'm going to look at my computer in a second and confirm. On the 24th is something. Oh, it's Diwali. 24th is Diwali. Light versus dark. Maybe that's what's going on here. Light versus dark. 25th, the solar eclipse in Scorpio and the new moon in Scorpio. Also 25th, the first day of the month of Cheshvan on the Hebrew calendar for the year 5783. 28th, I think, Feast of Saints Simon and Jude. And that may be it. But that's a lot, right? I think that's a lot. Okay, confirming. On October 23rd at 12:07 a.m., Saturn goes direct. That was the other planet I was trying to think of. 18 degrees Aquarius. So that may be, why some of the Aquarius energy was here. Also, on October 23rd at 3:52 a.m., Venus enters Scorpio, 0 degrees Scorpio. At 6:35 a.m., the Sun enters Scorpio, also 0 degrees Scorpio. At 9:05 a.m., Juno goes direct, 7 degrees Pisces. And those are the transits. Also, I've shared the story in the past on this channel about this day. You might want to Google it because I'm not going to tell the story again, but there was a court case arguing that October 23rd was the first day of creation. It was fought in court. So, interested in reading about that, you can Google, I'm sure. October 24th at 10:47 p.m., the true node, which is Taurus, will be semi-sextile Chiron, the wounded healer. On the 25th at 6:49 a.m., the new moon and partial solar eclipse occurs, 2 degrees Scorpio. 28th, 1:10 a.m., Jupiter in retrograde enters Pisces. Jupiter's actually, maybe that's old white old, but Jupiter was about too, because Jupiter is actually Pisces ancient ruler, esoteric ruler. So I think Neptune is there right now also. So Pisces will have both of its rulers at home, I believe, which is pretty intense and serious. And then lastly, for the 29th, the last day for which this reading is, at 3:22 p.m., Mercury, ruler of Gemini and Virgo, maybe that's what that was about, all the swords, enters Scorpio as well. The 24th is indeed Diwali. 25th, as I said, well, that was the new moon. The 26th is actually the start of the Hebrew month of Heshvan, and the year 5783. The 28th is indeed the feast days of Saints Simon and Jude. Okay, so let's see what it means for Venus to be entering Scorpio. This is going to be from www.tarot.com. Venus in Scorpio, intense, passionate, committed. The transit is from October 23rd through November 15th. The Black Widow, the Mistress, skeletons in your romantic closet, secretive about money and love. We just saw that potentially. Remember I said he might not tell you what's going on with his money. A sexy, magnetic, deliciously irresistible, intimate encounter. A healing and transforming bonding experience. Venus in Scorpio has the power to elicit all of this and more. Astrology considers Scorpio to be a tough placement for beautiful and sweet Venus. Scorpio isn't concerned with superficiality and prefers chasing after transcendental kind of love. The Scorpion likes to get below the surface to examine issues of power, fear, sex, and desire. When Venus enters Scorpio on September 10th in 2021, Venus will trade in social niceties for digging deeply and sparkling needed change. I don't know why they referred to 2021 when at the top it says 2022. That was weird. I don't know what that means. Anyway, Venus is about relationships and is sociable, friendly, and affectionate. Scorpio is about passion and likes to dive headfirst into love. This means we'll crave meaningful and intense experiences when Venus is in Scorpio. Depth and intimacy become more important, urging us to trade in frivolous things and flings for long-lasting romance. That could be what the Ten of Pentacles was about, like long-lasting relationships. Also, I did a lot of talking about frivolous things, not necessarily frivolous flings, but frivolous things, like earthly things that aren't as important as joy, love, happiness, life. So that may have been what that was about. Love can border on obsessive when Venus is in this sign, compelling us all to go all in when it comes to matters of the heart. When Venus is in Scorpio, it's a time when we'll want to shine a light on the shadows of our relationships, those nagging thoughts that we've been pushing aside to make peace. Well, they become impossible to ignore when Venus is in Scorpio and they get together. It's a time to go beneath the surface, to find the truth, and to hold it up to the light of day. We'll try to figure out what we can do to make it work, or if it's time to let go. That may have been what the Hangman was trying to figure out with the Eight of Cups in reverse. This transit gives our relationships a major reality check, whether we want one or not. Venus in Scorpio can also bring power struggles and money concerns out into the open. Subtle issues become more obvious than they were before. How money is spent becomes a focus in partnerships, where financial resources are shared. This could also be a time when we have a stronger interest in making financial investments or decisions about loans, insurance, or other areas of our lives having to do with money. Yes, Venus in Scorpio can be pretty heavy, but it can be pretty heavy, but it can also be truly amazing. All of this intensity leads to a stronger bond. So if you're up to the challenge, both emotionally and physically, this could end up being a transformative and sexy time that ends up bringing you and your partner much closer together. So I'm reminded of the dice, right? One did say sex, and one said I'm on top. So this can be about success, 10 of Pentacles type of things, long-term relationships, just working things out, or getting a job, bettering your job, getting a promotion, all those things happening because of Venus maybe. And this very transformative and sexy time is expected to bring us and our partners much closer together as well. Next up, Jupiter in Pisces. Spiritual, compassionate, and deep. Also from www.tarot.com. The transit is from October 27th through December 20th, so much longer. Being the largest planet in our cosmos, Jupiter is known for its ability to expand our minds, hearts, and souls. It is a teacher, eager to open us up to the endless opportunity in our lives and possibility in our world. Jupiter is all about reaching further and going beyond our boundaries, which makes this transit through Pisces oh so perfect. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac and therefore represents boundlessness. It is a sign that revels in spirituality, fantasy, and connectivity. Jupiter's presence in Pisces only helps to magnify this vast way of living, helping us to reach feelings, thoughts, and experiences that we could never have dreamed of reaching before. Jupiter is quite happy swimming in the wide and deep waters of Pisces. Jupiter is known as the great teacher, but during his transit through Pisces, the most important knowledge doesn't come from reading books or listening to lectures. This is a time to learn from our souls. It's a time to gain knowledge through silence, whether through meditation or walking through a quiet forest. Information and truths are sensed and learned within us and cannot be reduced to a simple sentence or two. That's probably what all the Wheel of Fortunes were about. It's like destined, it's fate, it's something that is meant to happen at a soul level. And that's just it. With Jupiter and Pisces, the real prizes are found in our hearts, not our heads. Our connection to something bigger than ourselves grows during Jupiter's transit through Pisces. Pisces is the sign of spirituality, and Jupiter is the planet of philosophy and religion. When these two team up, our concept of faith expands greatly. We can learn so much about our own spiritual connections by listening to the experiences and views of others instead of seeing our personal viewpoints as right and others as wrong. This is a time to realize that we're all connected to the same sense of spirit, even if the specific paths we take and symbols or teachings that we follow look different from someone else's. Spirituality is such a personal concept, yet realizing there are many, many paths toward connection and enlightenment can actually help us to solidify or expand our own unique views. While Venus moves through Pisces, our egos pull back and our sense of compassion expands tremendously. We're more intuitive at this time, helping us to truly feel the worries, fears, sufferings of others. We can't simply disregard others' problems as their own. Instead, we're eager to help those around us to heal and to reach a happier place. Jupiter is a planet of great positivity and reward. And in this sense, the reward is a greater connection to loved ones and the knowledge that we've truly helped another soul back onto the right path. I feel like I talked some about that in this kind of reading too. Staying on path, defending our path, ourselves, our reputation, our decisions, and the connection to love and to loved ones being of the most importance, at least this week, right? Overall, Jupiter in Pisces blesses us with a beautiful energy that helps to strengthen our relationships with others and teaches us a great deal about ourselves. There is, however, one word of warning during this transit. Pisces is a very idealistic sign, and combined with Jupiter's abundance of positivity, our expectations can become so idealistic that we set ourselves up for disappointment. An optimistic outlook is always a good thing, but if our head and both feet are up in the clouds, reality could bring us crashing down. We mustn't lose our sense of hope and wonder, but we must realize that a bit of prudence can help us to avoid a big letdown. When Jupiter is moving forward, he brings situations into our lives that increase our opportunities and encourage expansion and abundance. When Jupiter turns retrograde, however, these chances for growth do not disappear, but they do change form. When Jupiter retrogrades through Pisces, we have a greater chance to connect with our own spirits. Instead of healing others, we can heal ourselves. Personal healing is not easy work, but Jupiter retrograde pushes us to ask the difficult questions we may have been avoiding, which will in turn promote the growth that Jupiter is known for. We can no longer escape our fears while Jupiter retrogrades through Pisces. Instead, we have the chance to face them and to overcome them, coming out stronger, happier, and more whole on the other side. Jupiter in Pisces blesses you with a soft soul. Oh, this is if you were born with Jupiter in Pisces. I'm sorry. Let's see if it says anything specific about retrograde. Oh, I guess that's what I just read. So we'll move on to Mercury in Scorpio, was it? Yes, last but not least, Mercury in Scorpio. So this is also, I guess, why we saw a lot of the same signs repeating over and over. The signs that Venus rules are Taurus and Libra. And Venus is also the ancient ruler of Gemini. So maybe, in addition to Scorpios themselves, of course, those might be the most affected, at least this week, per this reading, by that transit. And now going into Mercury in Scorpio. Again, in addition to Scorpio, perhaps Gemini as a repeat from the Venus, and also Virgo might be the most impacted. And then maybe Taurus too, just based on placements of things. Yeah, I think. Anyway, Mercury in Scorpio, sharp, inquisitive, mysterious. The transit is from October 29th, which is the last day for which this reading is, through November 17th. That's my mommy's birthday. Mercury plunges into the depths when it enters passionate and private Scorpio. Mercury is the planet that influences how we think and communicate, but while it moves through this watery sign, our thoughts mix with our feelings and inspire us to ask questions and to get to the bottom of what's happening in our lives. Ideas, conversations, and people who are shallow or superficial have no power during Mercury in Scorpio. Instead, this is a time of depth and intimacy and can be a very effective period to talk about difficult issues regarding relationships, money, and morality. Scorpio thrives in the dark, the realm of secrets and lies, questions and answers, death and transformation. It is an extremely inquisitive sign that is never satisfied with what is simply lying on the surface. Scorpio knows that the real treasures are found when you dig a little deeper. So while mental Mercury moves through the sign of the Scorpion, we all start asking more questions and searching for hidden meanings. But we may not be happy with what we discover. When Mercury travels through Scorpio, it's like Mercury is shining a light on all of the darkest parts of ourselves. We become more aware of our fears and desires and the ways that others' lives impact our own. We can bond in much more intimate ways because we're able to discuss topics that are normally off limits. But Mercury in Scorpio brings out the skeptic in us all. While it may feel like we're searching for something wrong in every situation, it's really about emphasizing our negative thinking to get positive results. By eliminating information and ideas that don't serve our needs, we make room for those that will. Our minds are also more suspicious when Mercury is in Scorpio. Because it's a time that emphasizes secrecy and privacy, we're quick to assume that there are things going on that we don't know about. But if we push too hard to try to get to the truth, which is very likely under Scorpio's persistent influence, we risk creating long-term issues of intimacy and mistrust. That said, Mercury in Scorpio does have the potential to foster greater intimacy as well. Because we're more willing to ask the really hard questions, we might finally get the answers that we need in order to grow closer in the process. And it goes on to talk about Mercury being retrograde in Scorpio, which we'll say for if that actually happens. I'm not sure. I don't believe it will because we were just retrograde. So that's what I have. I hope that you guys have enjoyed. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I appreciate it. Namaste. I'll be back with the Scorpio new moon solar eclipse reading. Bye.